Signore e signori, vi do il benvenuto in What Remains of Edith, Finch, con un pad e con anche una cosa da dire, cioè il gioco io l'ho già giocato, solo sono passati tantissimi anni e non ricordo un cazzo, proprio un cazzo, quindi me lo volevo rigiocare perché ricordo di non averlo apprezzato moltissimo e volevo dargli una seconda possibilità. Che devo fare? Ok. Perché col pad? Col pad perché poi anche il pad mi si stia mezzo rompendo e quindi...
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Quindi volevo provarlo con un gioco pacato, in modo tale da capire se sta dando problemi o no.
But I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Ok.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Noto che non sono state aperte subito.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Ah, ok, qui. Allora, io ricordo che più o meno parla della famiglia Finch. Ricordo a grandi linee come è strutturato, ma... Vabbè, non serve.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Qui sotto? Nulla? Viso di ragazza scomparsa. Sarà Edith, perché non vedo un cazzo. Però... saremmo noi. Boh. Qui giù c'è altro? Sì.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Non è che in realtà questa è la parte giusta. Io non lo so. Cioè, l'ho presa involontariamente. Perché? Il dubbio mi sta venendo. Allora, so essere... me lo ricordo. Sarebbe più giusto dire come un gioco abbastanza delicato.
The woods around the house have always been
Sì,
uncomfortably silent,
è la parte giusta.
as if they're about to say something but never do.
Che il pad non sembra avere particolari problemi, ma... Lasciamo il pad per questo... meglio... Per godere un po' di più dell'ambientazione, lascio il pad per questi giochi. Quindi anche quando gioco The Vanishing of Ethan Carter o in generale Walking Simulator su PC, lascio il pad per... farvi godere un po' di più. L'ambiente di gioco. Non so dove andare. Ah, cazzo, qui vado alla casa diretto. Merda, non volevo azzeccarlo così subito. Ok. Cervo.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Ok. Sì, torna indietro, immagino, no? O meglio, aspetta, non è che torni indietro. Ok, sì. Sì, sì, ok, ok. È una strada invece di un'altra, è uguale. Ok. Non me lo ricordavo. Va bene. Andiamo in casa Finch, allora. Prima mi è venuto in mente il nome di Dove 5 vita a carta perché io ricordo che questi due li avevo giocati praticamente uno di fila all'altro anni fa. Non so per quale motivo, ma me li avevo giocati uno di fila all'altro. Sono qui per anche comprendere qualcosina in più rispetto a questo gioco, che forse l'avevo giocato con la mentalità sbagliata, con l'approccio sbagliato e quindi non... quindi mi ho perso un paio di cose. Però l'unica cosa che sto perdendo è la vista, perché è più buio di agoni.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Era affascinante la colonna sonora.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Perché? Milton Finch, no, stava tipo il fratello allora. Chi era Milton? Aspetta, prima di andare nel disagio. Abbiamo altre cose qui.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Merda, ho lasciato un sacco di dialoghi.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left.
Posso riuscire? No. Che non vuole essere una speedrun. Ho solo sbagliato strada.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Ok.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
No. Di qua.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Cosa accade a sta
It was like a
famiglia?
bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
C'è altro? Vai, vai.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Scenico questo momento. Qui?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
E lei il fratello. Ah, ok, qui teniamo la cucina. E allora mi sa che dobbiamo o risalire. No. Per risalire dobbiamo salire o andare qui.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Ok. Saliamo allora.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Ah, era un'attrice.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Ok. Ok, credo che sia lì la nostra prima tappa. Perché se... Allora, io ricordo come è strutturato, cioè ogni parente aveva tipo un suo mini capitolo. Scusami. 76-77.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Ma io posso vedere quelli di tutte le stanze, quindi...
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Un attimo, mi hanno chiesto una cosa. Già angosciante. Non so in che anno sia ambientato, quantomeno non me lo ricordo, ma... Noto che sono durati poco alcuni Finch. 44-60.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Aspetta, allora torno anche di sotto, che ne ho lasciato alcuni. Uno.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Bene, dai, per niente inquietante. Tutto bene, tutto a posto. Nessun problema. No, no. Manchi... Molly. 10 anni, anche lei.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Aspettativa... Devil. Lunghezza della vita molto bassa nei Finch.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
20.000 leghe sotto i mari.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Ok, ricordavo bene. Beh, non mi pare ci sia altro da vedere.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Ok.
I kept eating and eating.
Eh,
I ate a lot of things that night.
quale di queste cose ti faceva morire?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Perché occhio sembra
I
voler...
reached out for her.
Piano.
And suddenly, I was a cat.
Ok.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Cazzo succede?
I jumped and I almost got her.
Ok.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore.
Ah, era,
All I
è una
cared
grande
was eating that mama
metafora.
bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl.
Ok.
First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Ok.
Rabbits.
Ok.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Ok.
A mama rabbit.
Vabbè.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Ok. Era strano forte il tuo gioco, allora non ero stronzo io
I
all'epoca.
rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Ok.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
No, aspetta.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Via. Era strano. Era decisamente strano.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Ok.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Olè.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Ok.
After the
Eccoci
last
qua.
passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
No. Ok.
I got closer and closer.
Ok. No, wait.
All of my stomach started growling. suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
In realtà non è che siamo andati molto lontano. Cioè, era la sua immaginazione, no? Perché il mostro, per
I can't
dire,
describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
era quello. Ah, il gattino. Quello, ovviamente. Questo per lo squalo. Manca il tipo il gufo, cos'era? E poi anche quello per lo squalo, insomma. Di che cosa per effettivamente è morta? Questo ovviamente è un sogno, immagino. Da parte di Molly.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Ma forse non aveva finito il dialogo di Molly.
Her room was like a museum.
Però aspetta,
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
ok.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Dov'è? Aiuto. Tu?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
No, aspetta.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Voglio vedere la storia della nonna prima. Ok. Poi andiamo. Però prima vediamola.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
No, aspetta. Ah, così.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johann. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edith, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
No?
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Ok. Beh, ora possiamo proseguire. Ok, strana cosa qui fare foto. Va bene.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Calvin. Ah, non c'è altro. Oh, me lo ricordo questo.
And that he never talked about him.
Centro di
I guess my grandpa
comando.
didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Beh, la stiamo per scoprire, immagino. Calvin, 50-61, 11 anni. Molto bene, direi che possiamo, se il gioco va, proseguire.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Devo avere io.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
Ok. Devo fare... aiuto. Devo... Ah, ma
At
devo...
Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
11 anni.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Porca puttana. Ok, è pesantino anche. O sono io che sto interpretando tutto nel modo sbagliato?
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ok. Era figo, vero? A me non aveva entusiasmato la prima run, quindi la prima volta. Eccoci
I
da
always thought
Barbara.
of Barbara as a child star.
Stavo guardando cosa tutto c'era.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ah, ok, è lì. Non c'è altro? Sembra di no.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
La musica di... cos'è? Profondo rosso.
And imagine the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Ok. Ah, qui.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Ma che figo. Chi cazzo se lo ricordava?
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And the was he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Ecco.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grow. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But
Troppa fama l'ha uccisa.
so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Quindi praticamente qualcuno che non la voleva bene perché è troppo famosa, storie simili, l'ha fatta a pezzi.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Alla faccia del lieto fine. C'è altro qui? No. Non me la ricordavo minimamente sta cosa. È un gioco che meritava di venire
I guess now
rigiocato.
I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Beh. Comunque, posso dirlo. Che familiare il cazzo, cioè nel senso... E qui infatti è rotto. Bellissimo. Questo gioco è una mina. È una mina clamorosa.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
What the fuck? Ho sentito suoni. Vabbè, magari vengono da fuori. Ok. Ed eccoci qui giù.
The
Sven.
basement was off limits. Unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Allora, aspetta, tanto posso comunque esplorare tutto dopo, quindi... Ah, non c'è niente qui, ok. Ero convinto comunque ci fosse qualcosa. No. Io ve lo giuro, non vedo una fava, Cioè, spero che voi stiate vedendo, ma...
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Ah, non lo posso... La vibrazione è eccessiva, volevo...
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
Sono pesche scioppate le stai bevendo.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food.
Ci va padre per
I don't
30
mind if I
anni.
only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with 1 year done. I can already imagine the sun on your face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe
Non
she
so
was
cosa
afraid I'd
dire.
end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Ma è un gioco della Madonna. La cazzo avevo che non andava 6 anni fa, quasi 7 ormai.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but The pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Aspetta che c'è altro qui. Dio mio, le musiche, l'atmosfera, la scrittura.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Ah no, aspetta. Sono 2 cose diverse, lì partiva una roba.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Devo aiutarlo? No.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Ignori.
But looking back on it now,
No. Devo far finire il dialogo.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Ti prego, non ti spezzare, non ti spezzare, non ti spezzare. Ok. Uè, scaletta.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Lo scopriremo nella prossima e ultima parte, signore e signori. Operazione di rivalutazione più che riuscita. Cioè, che cazzo c'avevo 6 anni fa? Questo gioco è pauroso.